everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Very simple run on the last one. We didn't talk much about Isaac at all, but we probably will on this one. 4x ET 2C 3E. Can I just say, as I wipe my hands down so that no amount of hand moisture will be the cause of deletion on this run. I don't believe we have lost. Well, we didn't lose the last streak to be in the keeper, so you know, I'm not saying we got infinite keeper potential. That's just foolhardy. However, you know, we've done very well as the keeper recently, I think. You know, I really do wish I had saved. Okay, well, so you win some, you lose some. I really do wish we'd saved the bomb, but it is what it is. I know it looks dumb. Like, why would you walk in then walk out? Here's the thing. I would rather do that and live and get back to full HP 10 times than screw it up once. So you just wanna be sure, you know? Now we got another penny, so we'll go back and try. I mean, 5 bombs. The homing bombs are whatever right now. But 5 bombs, that's very useful right now. Damage supplements, if you don't have a great situation versus the boss, for example. We can go into the shop for free, so we might as well. I think pay to win, pay to play, whatever. There's so many of those in the game now. Doesn't it give you money when you get hit? That's one where you'd probably like to look it up on the old Binding of Isaac wiki. We'll take a look as we get, you know, a little closer. Right now, it's plausible but unlikely that we could get to the money required. Almost hit the space bar there. A classic mistake. I mean, we got bombs. Actually, it's extremely likely we could get to 15 cents. So Steven, we know what Steven's got going on. There's like a staggering potential. Wow, that was close. That we will get little Steven. Let me go look it up on the wiki. Pay to play. Pay to play Isaac. Plus 5 coins. Locked doors require a coin instead of a key. If we're not getting a free... I mean, the 5 coins means it only costs 10 cents. And it will save us keys, but I don't think I can justify it at that point. I think instead I will be moving on. Saving our money for one of the very narrow subset of items where... you know, they really help us out as the keeper. Anyway, I'm not feeling bad about this run. There's nothing to feel bad about yet. You know, we got useful items early on, and I feel like my Isaac play has been totally fine lately. I mean, when we lost our streak, it was to an invisible champion enemy that killed us in 1 hit. I'm not gonna say, you know, there's nothing you could do, but in the whole... if you took a look at the wide spectrum of ways there are to die in this game... An enemy you can't see that does twice as much damage as a normal enemy when you only have 1 HP. That's the kind of thing you can feel not so bad about. You know, it's like getting killed by like a falling piano or something like that. How are you supposed to see it coming? Now, you can't afford to take pills as this character. Right now, at least. There is a tinted rock. We're not rich on bombs anymore, so it's a bit of an ask. Not a big ask, but a bit of an ask. And of course, you always... I'm willing to do this, to be honest, but you always want to take a look and see if maybe you can get swallowed penny from those pots. It would help if you had a little bit more. Let's be honest, we shouldn't have used 2 bombs to kill little Steven. But he is one of the wilier bosses on the first floor, at least. Okay, so we're moving on here. If there's a big positive I can say right now, I'm trying not to be negative. There's nothing to be negative about right now. But if there's something to be particularly positive about, brain's fresh, you know? This is the second Isaac run of the day. If I was to chart my my Isaac efficacy, and it's sad, but we have such a large sample size, we could probably draw like a scientifically meaningful conclusion. I would say like performance tends to peak maybe second or third Isaac video of the day. First one tends to be pretty good, you know, mistakes do happen, but you know, you're getting warmed up, reacquainted. But second one, you're like switched on. Third one, you're fine. Fourth one, that's where you start to get a little bit like, I played too much of this game today. Maybe get a little bit lazy. Take a shortcut, whereas it doesn't, you know, it is imprudent, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I haven't gotten a single tiers upgrade over the course of the entire run. Wah, wah. That's my impression of me. It was me. Austin, it was me the whole time. D7. No thank you. No bingo. Okay. I mean, you start here. Sack of sacks for 7 cents is a glorious deal. Nothing else matters here unless you want to purchase a bomb. Pandora's box, I think it either gives us bombs and keys or spirit hearts right now. Bombs and keys would be really nice. It would be decent at least. Spirit hearts would be, I mean, worth 7 cents, but not if it cost us being able to buy something else that's useful. Financially, because we don't have any bombs right now, we got to use the money to reroll, which is going to put us in only being able to buy half-price items range. So I'm shooting this to try to get a little leg up on the competition. 7 cents. I think you try. I don't remember which one it is. It's bombs and keys. So I think that's relatively good right now. We're going to come back to this one. Just leave it. Save it for a rainy day. That's pretty much 100% what we're looking for. Now, this deal with the devil is very curious. Yo, this is a pivotal moment in any keeper run. Are you going to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Or are you just going to be like, give me angel deals in the future, please, if you don't mind? Probably the latter. Yeah. It was a really good time for us to get Krampus. We could have just creamed them. But it is what it is. Okay. Sadly, nothing here is quite appropriate. They're good, but not on this run. Similarly, pretty much the same scenario right there. I will pay for BFF. And it's not great yet, but there's such a like a preponderance of solid familiars. I think it's like future-proofing. Hopefully. We hope to get something useful out of it. So yes, I will fight you. And it would be nice, to be honest, if you dropped HP. That way I could take a deal with the devil and then come back and pick it up. A bomb is also fine. I'm not going to get bent out of shape. I thought for sure we were going to get hit there. This is the kind of run where, you know, you really want to be on your A game. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. You've done keeper runs yourself. Don't know how many people are out there, you know, in the modern era doing keeper runs for sport. It wouldn't surprise me if there's dozens. I know that maybe seems like a low number. But, you know, I considering where we're at in the Isaac life cycle, we're in a little bit of a dip as we wait for the DLC. I think it's pretty good, honestly. I mean, it's not a real number either. I just made it up. But, you know, if those numbers bore out in reality, that would be pretty impressive. I mean, Isaac, you got to admit, people who play this game a lot get really good at it. Like 3% of the population that owns Afterbirth has the like 1,000,000% achievement. That's insane. 1 in 30 people that buys this game ends up spending like, you know, 500 hours on it. That's, I know it's 3% might seem like kind of a low number. I disagree mightily. That's a mark of a great game right there. You look at some other games, you know. Hold on. You know, some of the achievements like beat the first boss only have like 15% achieved, you know? People who are into this game are into it. And you're like, yeah, look at yourself. No kidding. You got me. So I'm going to be a coward, and we're going to Emperor out here. Well, we're definitely going to walk back to the item room. Yep. Shouldn't have picked that up. We probably won't walk back far enough to get the stars card, but we'll see, because it is a run where you want to do everything in your power, but you know. Also, you only live once. You want to spend all your time walking through virtual floors. Yikes. At least these guys can only stay on one side of the map. I do think, though, except for walking on the spikes to pick up 5 bombs. Man, I hate this room. Ah! Since when can you show up there? Since always, for sure, but... Okay, we did it. I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh, I think that was the first time we've been hit on this run. Which, considering that, you know, we're at fairly mediocre items, all things considered, you know, I think it's a pretty good situation to be in. And after saying that, Capricorn, honestly, like, it doesn't help out quite as much as I thought it would, but we're doing all right. Little damage, very little rate of fire, speed, HP if we needed it, which we don't. Well, I mean, we would like it, but we can't use it. Let's put it that way. So we'll Onsus right out of the gate. And there goes a couple more pieces of acoustic foam. What else is new? You can be like, NL, how's the foam falling down? You must have put it up wrong, blah, blah, blah. No. Well, yes, I did put it up wrong, but, like, it's the double-sided tape. I should never have listened to... There were multiple people in chat who were, like, you know, coming up with solutions. One guy was like, double-sided tape is probably good enough. It's also the cheapest option. I went for that. I regret it every day of my life right now. If you're gonna be putting up acoustic foam for yourself, I mean, you got a couple of options. If you get to the level of dad resentment that I'm at right now, you're just gonna nail or screw that to the wall, you know? And that's fine. No thank you. But, you know, the command strips, they're more expensive, I'll admit. Can't deny. Saw it coming a mile away. Do not restart me as the keeper. I do not wish to. Oh, that hurts. We shouldn't have been hit there. Just get the command strips, okay? Do it for me. Thank you. This is exactly what I needed. That one has left a little, you know, the feeling of frustration in my brain. There's like a little burning hot coal in the center of my cerebral cortex right now. That hurts. Anyway. If you respect me, you'll buy the command strips. I don't even know. Maybe just buy a rug. I don't know. All the acoustic foam looks cool, but it's a little bit of a hassle. I'm neither for nor against it. I haven't decided yet. It makes you look like you're recording in a professional environment, and I think the foam does help a little bit, you know, especially if you can, like, really blanket the space in it. But, like, in a large room like this, I think it was perhaps a bit of a foolhardy endeavor. Isaac and all that. Dude, I can't believe... First off, it's awesome. It's like a time-traveling video, because I know that if you're watching this, it's probably, like, early December. You want to have the discussion? When is it okay for a radio station to start playing Christmas music? Can I start? Because I have strong opinions about this. I think a legitimate radio station should never play exclusively Christmas music. I will hit you with well, let me rephrase. I'll hit you with the what's the word I'm looking for? The corollary to this argument. I think if you're gonna do it, there's 2 days where it's okay. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. That's fine. Some people might say December 1st. I take a lot of issue with those people. From December 1st to December 25th, that's almost a month, which is like 8% of the year. It basically means for the if you look at all the songs played by this radio station over the calendar year, 1 in 8 would be a Christmas song. If you spread it out over 12 months, it would be Dancing with a Stranger, Bad Guy, Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, Shake It Off, Taylor Swift, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Bing Crosby, and then 4 other songs. I can't think of any more. New Rules by Dua Lipa, Cool for the Summer by Demi Lovato. Look, I'm working hard here, okay? I'm trying. I think that's too much. And in fact, if you're going to argue that Christmas music is special, which I think is I agree, but perhaps with a different emphasis on the word, it's not that special when it's being played 25 days straight. We have a radio station in Vancouver that starts playing Christmas music on November 1st. Even if you disagree with me up to this point, I hope that most reasonable people would agree that 2 months of Christmas music is too much. 1/6 of the year dedicated to a single holiday. And this is coming from somebody who likes the Christmas season. I am here for Christmas, you know? I like the ambiance. I like getting together with my relatives. I like eating a delicious feast. Not so big on the gift-giving portion. People always shame me for that, but it's the honest truth. I don't really like to receive gifts. I don't mind giving them. It's not, you know, I'm not going to the store like, oh, what's the minimum amount of money I can spend on this person to get this off the list? But it's like, you know, I really hate receiving gifts for the most part. I'm doing my best to get over it because it's a ubiquitous part of, you know, human existence. But it's a process, you know? I always feel that people think that I'm faking my enjoyment of the gift, which is never the case. I'm always like aggressively and genuinely appreciative, especially if they give me something like, you know, hey, we got you socks. I'm like, yo, you saved me a trip to Sears, thank you. I'm not being facetious, it's a great gift. But anyway, Christmas music. 2 days, if you played 0 to 2 days, you are completely free of judgment. If you play it for the entire month of December, I'm like, okay, I get it. This is no longer a radio station where you would listen and be like, oh, that's a good song. This is a radio station where you're like, you know. I'm trying to come up with nice words for what I'm about to say, which is like, this radio station no longer cares about artistic intent. It's exclusively there to sell advertisement. Okay, fair enough. I guess in some way, all radio stations are out to sell advertisements, but if you play it for 2 months, I legitimately took that radio station. It was on the number 2 of 6 slots in my car. I took it out. I don't want it anymore. I no longer have. I don't know if I could. I mean, you get over it, I'm sure, but I don't know if I could live with myself as a DJ that played exclusively Christmas music for that long. The thing is, most Christmas music is like really bad. There's only like under 20 Christmas songs. Don't hit me. I challenge you. There might be 30, okay? And I'm not talking about like, oh, well, you're forgetting about A Very Brady Christmas. No, I mean like the ones that would actually play. You know, there's like Feliz Navidad, All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey, which is the only good original Christmas song written in my entire life. That's where we're at. In 30 years on planet Earth, there has been one new Christmas song injected into the ecosystem. And it's everybody's favorite just by virtue of the fact that it's the most recent, and it's pretty good. I mean, she can sing, let's be honest. Anyway, that's my rant on that stuff. Why do I listen to the radio? Sometimes the long and the short of it is Canadian data plans, okay? If I'm driving, I don't want to use streaming music, but because, if I'm driving for an hour, that could be like, I don't know, like 5% of my data for that month from my cellular provider without going over. Price is Right style. Canadian telecoms are kind of screwed up. You might be saying, why not play downloaded music? Because, I've been using this phone for 14 years. It's not made out of space, I need a clean slate of memory. Please let me out. I think we should, because we're getting closer to Spun. I'm willing to bet on Spun. I can't believe we haven't found our shop, though. This is a sloppy game right now. But I will say, I know I also am the guy who has cable and talks about how much cable sucks. But the radio is bad most of the time. The best outcome for the radio, well, there's two great outcomes for the radio, but I'm too honest to admit to, or to pretend to like one of them. Oh no. Like I said, sloppy run. One of the best outcomes is, oh, I've never heard this song before. Wow, this is really good. I should investigate who sings this and check out their catalog, It happens, but it's not that common. The other one is that after 5 songs you don't really like, they play like Raspberry Beret by Prince, and you go, oh, now that's a bop. The best case scenario for the radio is they accidentally play a song that you could have chosen to hear yourself in like no time flat. So it's kind of an antiquated system, But when I was it's funny now that like podcasts are such a popular form of media, and you might be like, are they? I think they are. Like, I know everybody has a podcast for one, but like on top of that, like I feel like a lot of podcasts out there are doing like big numbers. I think that's really cool, because what was my favorite part of listening to the radio when I was a kid? You guys ever listen to a radio station that's played a little syndicated program called "And That's the Rest of the Story"? It was basically like it was like an early Radio Lab sort of thing. / Reddit Today I Learned, with a dude who was a very skilled wordsmith. He'd tell you things like, these unbelievable stories, and then he'd finish it with, and that's the rest of the story. It was, I never knew when it was coming on, but if you were driving and that's the rest of the story came on, you were like, this is a blessed driving experience. It was that and the ongoing history of new music, starring Elron Blues. And I'm pretty sure Elron Blues is just Dan Aykroyd. I don't know, man. Things are weird up here sometimes. I used to fall asleep to that in high school. I would leave, believe it or not, I've been using music to fall asleep since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Turn on the radio around 11 p.m., let it drift me off to sleep. It was really nice, too, because only 3 or 4 times a night would you wake up to... Have you been in an accident recently? Wee-wee. We don't need to... That's one of those topics, it's like airplane food. We don't need to discuss bad radio advertisements. Suffice it to say, all I'm going to say about the subject is How is it possible that there are still scumbags out there, I said it, who will put sirens in their radio ads? Everybody knows it's bad. It's even, I think it's illegal in some places, from what I've heard online at least. Been talking to my FB friends about it. That's not, I mean, I don't have any FB friends. That's a reference to a video. I don't know if I can give you the title, but it's from like 2009, and it's a man who bet his friends that the New Orleans Saints would lose to the Washington Redskins. And what was the bet, you might ask? Oh, a drink? $5, you might ask? No. He said, because this is the United States, that if the Saints win, you can come over and shoot my TV. So it's a video of just a bunch of people coming over to this guy's house shouting, "Who dat?" And then literally shooting like assault rifles at his incredibly oversized television. And there goes another piece of acoustic foam. Anyway, you can look that up for yourself. That's required viewing for next week's lecture. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, bad radio ads. It's one of those things where I'm like, I think people online, they have, this idea that just because something happens, that must mean that it also works. I mean, it's the same people who are like, no press is good press. It's probably my least favorite piece of wisdom that people hold to be true without giving it any amount of like critical thinking or evidence to back it up. Like, they're probably like most of the people watching this right now. I'm not trying to, call you out. Most people probably believe like, oh, any press is good press. It's not true. There are career-ending bad press things all the time. All the time. It happens literally like every day. Any press is good press. No. Getting arrested for sensitive crimes, that's a pretty bad one, Well, I meant except for that. Well, that's why you shouldn't use the expression. The expression it's not right. If it's wrong, a lot of the time, it's not worth using. But anyway, people, they're probably like, well, if they use the sirens in an ad, it must be working. It gets your attention. I'm like, I don't think I think they think that it gets attention, so they use it. I don't think that means it actually works. You know what I mean? Like, there's people out there who still think, like, I see it now and then. I've seen it in the wild in Vancouver, and this is punching down, so I apologize. But I see people walking around with like their YouTube channel name on a T-shirt, or like their podcast URL or something like that on a T-shirt, and I'm always just like, first off, you gotta admire the hustle. It's hard to get your name out there, but also, it's like my grandpa telling me like 25 years ago that like, oh, if you wear a shirt for a company, it's free advertising. Sure, sort of. Like, if I see somebody wearing, I'm like, oh, that's a nice shirt. And then I look at the logo, and I'm like, oh, okay. Little out of my price range, or maybe if I go to wish.com, I could find something that, is similar. I don't buy from wish.com. I just don't buy anything except sandwiches for the most part. Invested? Hold on. I don't know if we should have taken Mom's knife in hindsight, but I think that works. But sometimes, I always try to like walk myself through the steps, especially in a business like this one where there's so much supply, that you would be like walking outside and you would see a dude wearing a shirt that's like, youtube.com/Mike Plays, and you'd be like, wow, I've been looking for a dude playing video games online, but I just couldn't. I can't find them. They don't appear to be anywhere. So what I'm going to do is, you know, I might not be home for several hours, but I'm just going to mentally catalog your username. And as soon as I get home, I'm going to type it into my browser and I'm going to subscribe. I'm not saying it's impossible. But, you know, like, have you ever done it? Have you ever? I don't know if for one, I've ever typed in a YouTube URL I've ever seen in an advertisement, if that makes sense. You know, sometimes you'll see an ad that's like, you know, for a service, and they'll be like, check out our YouTube channel. I don't believe that I have ever done that, for one. To do it off a random t-shirt. I mean, how do you know that guy's any good? Just because he's got a shirt with his URL and a Super Nintendo controller on it? He might be horrible. I think it harkens back to a different age, you know? I guess, to be fair, there goes another piece of acoustic foam. I guess, to be fair, in the modern age of smartphoneage, you could always, you know, just look it up right there as soon as you see him. But I'm like, I feel like in this business, you need, like, a more compelling reason. Like, if you search for, like, you know, Banjo-Kazooie, and then a Mike Plays video comes up, that's like a targeted result. That's a positive thing. You're like, oh, I was looking for footage of this game, and Mike Plays has played it. I'll take a look. And then you're like, oh, I like this guy's vibe. I'll keep watching. But you're just walking around outside. You're like, I'm hungry. And they're like, here's a targeted advertisement for a YouTube channel where the guy plays DuckTales. You're like, I don't need this. I don't need this right now. Anyway. I mean, I wouldn't do that with anything now, you know? Like, we've had to get some electrical work done in this place. Kate handled it, to be fair, so I should really ask her how she found the electrician. Pretty sure she did what most people in the modern day do, and Googled electrician plus city name, and then took the first one with very high Google reviews, which is why anytime I get anything done, I now get asked to review the website, or to review the service on Google and get like a free fortune cookie or something like that. Not that I'm complaining, I suppose. Because now, I don't have to get a fortune cookie for free and then throw it out because I don't want to eat it. Instead, I can just be like, no thank you. And leave them an honest review. Excuse me, I cannot be bought for a free fortune cookie. I take my responsibilities as a reviewer very seriously. I will give you your review, and if it's 5 stars, it'll get 5 stars. But leave your fortune cookie at home. I cannot be bought with a simple mixture of almond flour and sugar. But like, even if I was like walking around, I saw a dude wearing a shirt that was like Tom's Fridge Repair with like a URL and a phone number. What do I have to like write it down on my phone? No, you just look it up later, and then like, I don't know, I just don't believe it works. But I'm still at the point where I'm like, I sort of don't understand / believe that advertising works in general. Which, anytime I say that, people are like, wow, you're like not pretending and you're actually dumb. And I'm like, I know, but like, can you tell me why? And they're like, if it didn't work, people wouldn't do it anymore. And I'm like, I know, but I mean, there are things that I've purchased because of advertising, I suppose. Like when I'm at the grocery store, do I buy a no-name laundry detergent? No. I buy whatever laundry detergent is the cheapest per unit. like a hard-working, tax-paying Canadian citizen should. I think I walked into the aisle and I go, it's all the same. And then I just pick based on that. What about toilet paper? Do I buy the one with the snuggly bears? No. What I do is I find the cheapest toilet paper per roll, and I buy that. Unless it's Purex, which I hope they're not running ads in front of this video, because I gotta tell you, is the only toilet paper brand I can actually name because it's so bad. We got like 20 rolls of it. I swear to God. You ever have this happen? Has this ever happened to you? Where every time you start a new roll, for some reason, even though it's 2-ply, it becomes 1-ply, and then you've got to like rip into the whole roll to try to restart it as 2-ply. That happened with literally like maybe 75% of the batch. To the point where I was like, it's time. Like, I'm boycotting this brand. Not because of any political stance or anything like that, but because they make a horrible product. Is it error between keyboard and chair? I don't think so, brother. I got more hours logged on the commode than anybody watching this video. I guarantee it. I mean, that might be too much information, but, like, that's what you get for trying to mansplain toilet paper to me, okay? So I'm not saying advertising doesn't work. And there's, like, different advertising works on me. For example, I've never seen... Well, that's not true. I've never seen a TV advertisement, I think, for a movie, and then been like, oh, I gotta see that. But what, you know, the process is more complicated now, you know? I'll see a TV ad for a movie, and then I'll be like, oh, this looks okay, and then I'll look it up on, like, you know, how do critics and audiences feel about it? Oh, it's great. Okay, then I'll go see it. I'm very susceptible to critical-based marketing. I will go see things that I think I'm not that interested in on first glance because people tell me it's good. But I still, the one that gives me every time, I know we've been down this road many times before, I just don't understand car advertisements. Who watches the ad and then is like, I gotta go get a Nissan Maxima? It's like a $30,000 purchase. I mean, maybe you see it and you're like, oh, honey, if we're getting a new car, we should consider the Maxima. And then you go test drive it, and there's all sorts of stuff in the supply chain, but I just don't get it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps us a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!